This is a special edition Sick'em podcast.
DiJonai, you weren't here a long time at Baylor, but how would you describe your Baylor experience?
It was special. I wish, obviously, that I would have gotten to interact with the fans more because I know Lady Bears fans are crazy about their Lady Bears.
But you're the first ever by the New York Liberty. And,
Really?
Yeah, first ever.
The Sick'em podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics. Now, here are your hosts, Brooke Bednarz and the voice of the Bears, John Morris.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Sick'em podcast. We've had a number of special editions lately, and with good reason. Lots of great things we want to share with you. And Brooke, we've got another one today on the heels of the WNBA draft. We'll visit with the two Lady Bears who were drafted and are headed into professional basketball.
Absolutely, John. I think, it's been such an exciting time for Baylor athletics, and the celebrations just keep rolling in. And I'm so thankful that we get to visit with DiJonai first here today. She's got a very busy schedule, but she's already up in Connecticut because she was drafted to the Sun. DiJonai, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and, talk about the draft and just what it means to you overall that you've reached this lifelong goal of yours.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it's always been a dream of mine just to make it to the WNBA, and there were roadblocks along the way. So to finally hear my name called was just a big sigh of relief, and just, it's kind of something you can cross off your checklist, but now the real work begins to make that team and to stay on the team.
Walk us through a little bit what draft night was like. Obviously, this year, nothing has been normal. Your NCAA, bubble experience was anything but normal. So this draft was virtual. But tell us a little bit about who was with you, how you guys made the night extra special, and what it meant to you to have all those people surrounding you for that moment.
So I was with my family and then a bunch of my closest friends. They were all there. We had a little draft celebration and watch party at Petco Park, which is the Padres Stadium in San Diego. So the CEO allowed us to rent out he rented it out, I guess, one of the boxes. And so we had it there, and then they had a little celebration for me on the field after. So that was super exciting. And it was just cool growing up in San Diego. And I mean, I've been to a ton of Padres games, so it was so cool to kind of see all of that come into fruition.
I love Petco Park. It's right there downtown. It's just
right
beautiful.
Downtown.
Yeah, It's a great setting. Lamplight District is right there. That must have been really cool to be able to celebrate that moment there.
Yeah, it was super cool. And they made me a authentic DiJonai Carrington jersey with 20.
Nice.
So it was super cool. Yeah, I had no idea all of that was happening.
Did you have how calm were you on draft night?
It's so weird. My personality is very outgoing and a lot of energy, but in big moments like that and basketball stuff like that, I'm super mellow. And so I don't really know where that comes from or how I kind of, teeter through the two, but I was very calm. I was really very relaxed. And when I didn't even see my name at first because Kiana, who's one of my best friends, had just got picked, and DiDi. And so I was recording them talking on the screen, and as Kiana was doing her interview, they had put my name up on the bottom, and then I didn't even realize it until I heard everyone start screaming. So yeah.
Well, I think that's really neat. I mean, that shows just how good of a friend you are. You were celebrating everyone else's moment right there, being a good teammate for DiDi and things like that. But I want to ask you, you've been asked a lot this year about why you decided to come to Baylor. And one of the main reasons, is always to learn from Coach Mulkey. You learned from a great coach over at Stanford as well. But you're the third consecutive Baylor grad transfer to make it into the WNBA and to be drafted. And so to be kind of a part of that legacy that's fairly new here at Baylor, how special is that for you?
It's super special. And that's definitely one of the reasons why I came to Baylor. A lot of schools were obviously, you know, wanted me to come to their school, but I saw that Baylor had success with grad transfers the previous 2 seasons. And so that was a big part of it, because I know it's not always easy to integrate a grad transfer into your program, especially a program that's already very much so well established. And so that was just a big part of it. And to be able to come into the program and make my impact, but also learn and grow because of what's already there was super, you know, exciting for me. And yeah, like you said, to be able to continue that legacy. I don't know if they're going to have any more grad transfers next year, but hopefully if they do, they make it to the league too.
Why do you think that this program at Baylor with Coach Mulkey and everything is able to welcome in those grad transfers? What about this program and your experience here made that possible?
I just would say that I think they're very selective about who they bring into the program. They're not going to just bring anybody, any grad transfer in who maybe already has an ego or thinks that they're supposed to be given specific treatments because they're a 5th-year senior. They bring in people who are going to be able to adapt to whatever role they're needed to adapt it into, and people who fit their style. So I think that's a big part of it. I know Chloe and Taya both, you know, fit right in, and myself as well.
You played a unique role, so much so that they recognized that you were the Big 12 6th Woman of the Year, as well as the Newcomer of the Year. You know, how did you adjust to that role? And then, you know, even though you were coming off the bench, you were still making a big difference. I mean, when we think about the last couple of games they had in the NCAA tournament, DiJonai Carrington was the name everyone was talking about, and just how you performed.
Yeah, it was obviously a different role for me, but it was something that I just took head on. And it really, to me, it didn't matter whether I came off the bench or started. It was more so, I think it's more important of who's on the court at the end of the game or who's on the court when the game's on the line. And most nights that was me, and obviously for other teammates, but I was one of them. And so I think that was more important than starting for me. But it was just something where Coach Mulkey, we talked, and she said that she needed a spark and she needed energy coming in off the bench. And like I said, that's my personality, just energetic and very outgoing. And I think that when I came into the game, my teammates were able to get a bit of a boost and a lift from my energy and just things like that. But it definitely took a little bit of adjusting to, but you know, you just have to stay focused and do whatever is best for the team each night.
DiJonai, you weren't here a long time at Baylor, but how would you describe your Baylor experience? You know, everything, basketball, you know, academically, everything.
It was special. I wish, obviously, that I would have gotten to interact with the fans more, because I know Lady Bears fans are crazy about their Lady Bears. But, you know, the little things that I did get to do with the community and with the fans were so special. And I think the best part was just my teammates and the staff. Being around them every day was super special and something that I'm going to treasure forever. I was able to make great friends in just 8 to 10 months. I don't even know how long I was there. I got there sometime in July, and the girls didn't get there until August. So it was a short time, but you wouldn't know it the way that we interact with one another.
Were you able to visit with DiDi? I know you mentioned you had several friends other than DiDi that were drafted, but have you and DiDi been able to talk about the fact that, you know, just everything you guys went through together this year, and then that it kind of was capped off with you both being drafted, I think only 3 spots apart?
Yeah, we did. We talked a bunch that night, the night of the draft. And then actually last night or yesterday, we were on FaceTime with each other for a couple hours, and we were just, you know, so excited about how close we are to each other right now. Connecticut and New York. She looked up the bus fares. This girl's crazy. She looked up the bus fares And she was like, okay, so on a bus, it's about 3 hours and whatever minutes. On this, it's 4 hours. She said, if you drive, it's only 2 hours and this many. I'm like, girl, you are so funny. But yeah, so we've definitely talked, and we're excited for each other. And, we're just going to keep each other encouraged. And we just were telling each other, like, we have to have confidence in ourselves and our abilities going in there, regardless of what number we were picked. We know what we're capable of. And obviously the coaches who drafted us saw something and see something in us. So we just got to, put that out there.
In one of the interviews with the staff of the Sun, they described you as one of the best two-way wings in the draft. Hearing that, you have to take pride in the fact that not only is your offensive ability in getting to the hole being recognized, but also the impact you have on defense.
Yeah, for sure. Defense is something that over time, I think I've gotten better at, because I've learned the importance of it and how much that helps my offense. And for a little bit, I, was more so focused on offense. And then once I realized that defense, it creates easy offense, and it kind of, takes a little edge off when me and DiDi were talking about this last night too. We were like, once we get a steal, like in a game, it kind of just relaxes us and it lets everything flow better. So that's something that I always thought about during the game. I'm like, okay, once I get that first steal, that first deflection, then my offense starts to come. And I don't know why it works like that for me, or if that works for everyone, but that's just a big thing for me that I've tried to take pride in. So it's awesome for that to be recognized.
So it's a pretty quick on-ramp for the WNBA. I mean, the season's not far away. You're already there. What's your schedule like getting ready?
Yeah, I am here. I left. The draft was on Thursday. My flight was Saturday at 2 p.m. So it was a very quick turnaround. Right now we're quarantining and just COVID testing every day. I'm not positive when we'll start individual workouts, but we're doing rookie orientation today for, I think, 3 hours, and tomorrow for 2 hours. And then we'll do vaccines, and camp starts on the 25th. So everything's just going. And the first game is on the 14th of May. So it's very compact, but I'm so excited to, just get going finally.
Well, John, go ahead.
I was going to say, you've played a full schedule for Baylor already this year, get a little time off, and now you're about to start another full season. That gets long. I mean, that's longer probably than you've ever played straight, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, at least since high school.
Sure.
But the caliber obviously is completely different now. So it'll definitely be the longest stretch that I've played in a while. But hey, this is what I've worked those past 15 years for.
Well, John, I was going to say, I don't know if maybe DiJonai, you've made this connection, but there have been a total of 21 Lady Bears drafted into the WNBA, you being the 21st pick. And that was also happens to be your jersey number when you were a Lady Bear. So the connection there's some good vibes, I guess, going into the year.
The timing, God's timing is perfect. I know it.
And add to it in 2021. So there you go.
We will never forget what pick you were.
That's special.
We like those signs.
21st Lady Bear selected into the WNBA draft, round 2, 20th overall to the Connecticut Sun. DiJonai, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to visit with us today to talk about your time at Baylor and just how great that was. The impact you had on the program is one that we'll never forget, and that we are super excited to continue to cheer you on as a Lady Bear representing the green and gold in the WNBA. So good luck with everything. Enjoy rookie orientation, and hopefully we see you on the court in that Sun jersey here soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're listening to a special edition Sikkim podcast. Here again are your hosts, Brooke Bednarz and John Morris.
Continuing with our special edition Sikkim podcast, and look who's with us now. It's DiDi Richards. headed to New York to play professional basketball. Number 17 pick in the WNBA draft last week. And DiDi, welcome to you. Congratulations. And it's great to have you on with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I just want to know, first reaction, how does it feel? This has been something that you've been, dreaming of and talking about your whole time at Baylor. And now you're already in New York. It looks like you're in a hotel room because everybody, we're doing this via Zoom. But it looks like you're in a hotel room in New York already. You've got to just be so thrilled. Does it feel surreal?
Definitely surreal. I think what makes it so surreal is how fast it's happening. I promise I was just in Waco like 2 days ago. So it's crazy to know that I'm here. Training camps, about to start getting kicked off. So I'm just excited to be here.
We talked to DiJonai, and she said she had to go through a bunch of COVID protocols, testing, even some quarantining. Are you having to do the same thing?
Yes, sir. Exact same thing. Nothing we're not used to, though, coming from the bubble and NCAA. So I feel like I've gotten used to quarantining by myself.
Yeah, you would hope moving out of Baylor and moving on, maybe you'd be past that, but no, it's still going.
Still going.
Well, we're interested to know, obviously, you mentioned the bubble quarantining right now. Nothing about this year has been normal by any means. And that carried over a little bit into the WNBA draft this year. It was virtual. So we want to hear how you and your family made it a special night and, who all was with you, and just kind of walk us through that night for you.
It was my mom, she definitely was going to find a way to make it as special as possible. And that's what she did. She had an orange carpet, like how it would have been if we were to actually be at the draft. And then she got this whole big balloon wall done. She got everyone that was there, which is, close family and close friends that, family friends, masks that say DiDi Richards on it. It was just a lot going on. We had food or whatever, but music, it was almost like, a get-together, a family party, so it was so much fun. We didn't have a lot of people there, so everyone was still FaceTiming me or whatever, but my mom found a way to make it special under the quarantine rules, so it was fun.
I love that. And how about the moment, second round, 17th overall, when you saw your name on that TV screen and you heard your name announced? What were you feeling?
I don't even know. It was a rush, like a breath of fresh air, like, because I think I was so tense all the way up until pick number 17. I'm like, please be me. Okay, no. Please be me. Okay, no. And then finally I'm sitting there and I'm like, and my name gets called and I didn't know how to react. I wanted to scream, but I'm looking around. So it was pretty crazy. I still don't even know how to really put it into words. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for New York taking a chance on me.
We're so excited and happy for you. Think about all the work that's gone into that moment, to being selected as a professional athlete. Have you let yourself kind of think about all that's happened, to get to this point?
I have not. I was just telling DiJonai, I'm ready to let it happen so I can figure out how the practice and the training camp is going to go and I can get used to it. Right now, I'm just it's nerves building up until the point where I get on the court. But I think I'll take a moment whenever training camp is over and I finally make the team. That's where I'm going to really be able to breathe and let everything kind of settle in.
Well, John mentioned it and you have talked about it all year. It's the story everyone knows. If they know your name, they know your story now, and what happened at the beginning of the year in practice, and and then at the end of the year, the final game, and we saw the tears and we saw how frustrated you were to have to go out in that game. How are you doing now? And to know that despite all of that, and you look back on your Baylor career and know that you're leaving with, third all time in assists. You were only point guard for one season. Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. National title, like all the Big 12 awards and all the Big 12 titles. So to see all of that career capped off with this draft pick selection to the WNBA, just how do you feel about the fact that despite the injuries, you've gotten to this point?
I'm just grateful. Grateful that Coach Mulkey put me in the position that she did. Grateful that they took a chance on me as well as New York. So I'm just happy that I'm able to continue to add to my resume, as my brother would say. He's so good about saying, DiDi, keep building your resume. Your resume is crazy. I'm just happy to be a role model for him. And I'm doing exactly what he says, which is add to my resume. And I can't wait to say that I'm, officially on the roster here.
How are you doing? I know you spent a lot of time with Alex this year, the trainer at Baylor, obviously following that last game. I'm sure you worked with him a little bit in order to prepare for the draft.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling as good as I can be, actually. I think that's why I'm saying I'm ready to get on the court, figure out what's going on. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm going to miss Alex for sure. I'm pretty sure he's not going to miss me all the time, but I'm going to miss him. And I'm just thankful that he literally was available on phone call 24/7. So whoever's at Baylor is really lucky to have someone like Alex.
You talk about your resume. It is so impressive. What you've done at Baylor, your Baylor career. It's quite a legacy that you've left behind. What are your thoughts about your time at Baylor? Overall, athletically and otherwise.
Man, a dream come true. When you literally are looking for a school to go to, you're trying to figure out academically what can you do, athletically what can you do, and I think I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve before I even got there. Coach Mulkey literally stressed academics, so I was just happy that I was at a school that could prepare me for the real world on every aspect of life. So I'm just happy that I chose Baylor. I think that was one of the best decisions that I made, because I think I left my mark on the NCAA as well as Baylor, and as well as in the classroom. I still have teachers congratulating me to this day. So I'm just grateful that I chose Baylor.
I'm sure you have heard from Coach Mulkey regarding your draft selection. What was that conversation like?
It was actually very, very funny, because they drafted me during the commercial break. And so I guess it popped up at the bottom, and she called me as soon as my house starts yelling, Coach Mulkey popped up. And I'm like, okay, I must have gotten drafted. So and she goes, so explain this to me. Did you get drafted, or am I seeing things? And I'm like, I said, I think I got drafted. She goes, okay, well, all right, bye. I'm like, bye. And then she texted me congrats or whatever, I think the next day. But she's one unique human being that I'm gonna miss for sure.
Yeah. Y'all had a great relationship, a unique relationship. I think she has that with all her players, but I think especially point guards, since she played that position. Can you put into words what your career playing for Coach Mulkey has been like?
It was different. It was not, people kind of prepare you, people as in that Odyssey, Brittany Garner, they try to prepare you for her, but nothing can prepare you for her, but, so.
Right.
She was definitely different, and I don't think I'll ever meet anybody like her, but I loved all 4 years there. Every day that I spent with her, it was something different, and I enjoyed every bit of it. So I'm looking forward to coming back and visiting as much as I can, but due to COVID, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I'm that was the best phrase of my life, thanks to her.
Let me follow up on that. What's the moment? Was it at halftime? Was it in the locker room at some point? She's getting on everybody, and you say, "You tell him, Coach Mulkey." What's the story?
I really think that was my freshman year. I wasn't really playing, so I'm like,
"You're a freshman,
right?" I'm like, "You tell them, because I'm not out there. You tell them that they're messing up or whatever." But it was I just enjoyed changing her emotion. I think that was my goal freshman year, was to see if she was always like this, or if I could make her laugh or whatever. And once I figured out I picked my battles. Like, if I'm in trouble, then I'm gonna say this right here. So I think my freshman year, once I found out that she's also a human being, she can laugh, she can have fun. I think people, when you're coming in, she almost seems not real. And so once I found out that she was real, she's a great person, and I love everything about her.
Well, it's been fun to watch y'all's dynamic on the court, off the court, running into the locker room and whatnot. But lots of success coming out of Baylor, not just you, but you're the 20th Lady Bear drafted to the WNBA, DiJonai following at the 21st slot, but you're the first ever by the New York Liberty. And,
Really?
yeah, first ever. And if anyone knows you even a little bit, I think DiDi and New York go hand in hand.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I will not argue with that. And then knowing that I'm the first, now they don't know what they just got themselves into.
New York doesn't know what they're in for, do they?
They sure don't. I'm going to put that in their face as soon as I make the team. I can't do too much, y'all, until I make the team. So
I hear you.
I'm trying to wait.
Well, I do have a question though. Are the Power Puffs moving on into the WNBA and into New York?
I have no idea yet. I don't know. I just feel like that's Baylor. That's my Baylor fans. That should be you guys' thing. So I don't know. That might make an appearance like every now and then, but I'm not sure if it's going to be every game like it was at Baylor.
Okay. I kind of like that, the Baylor thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll appreciate that, and we'll know that when we see the Puffs, it's for us.
It's for y'all.
Well, we're really happy for you and so proud for you to be selected and pulling for you as you make the team. And again, you're going to make that team, no problem. We're pulling for you all the way. But don't forget us, all right? You come back and visit whenever you can.
Yes, sir. I will never forget y'all. That's my home.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us, and good luck. We can't wait to hear all about it, and we are cheering you on from Waco.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to DiDi Richards. You heard from DiJonai Carrington earlier. That's our special edition Sick'em podcast with the two Lady Bears heading into the WNBA. For Brooke Bednarz, I'm John Morris. Thanks for tuning in to this week's special edition Sick'em podcast.
You've been listening to a special edition Sick'em podcast. The Sick'em podcast is a production of Baylor Athletics.